What's going on, everybody? Lazy Booking Podcast back on A2D Radio. We got Eric Archer. We're going to have Pete Evans, and we got a lot to talk about. So like, subscribe, follow, and make sure you guys comment and enjoy the conversation.
Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Who's that kid? Nick. He looks like Beaker from Muppets.
The one on FS1, Nick Wright.
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah. I got something
That's
for
amazing.
him.
I love that.
If I get 5 women and they're all in the same room with me, we're going at it at 110%.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, Lazy Booking Podcast. As mentioned here on A2D Radio, I am your host, Michael Chromiak Chrome, joined, as seems like always at this point, which I love it, Eric Archer joining us. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. How are you? Not a lot going on. Not a lot going on in the wrestling world. Not a ton at all.
No. I mean, our opening topic is about it, but it's a big topic. We're going to be joined by Pete Evans in a couple of minutes from In This Very Ring, and obviously other A2D shows here as well. Show a little love to our sponsor, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy. He's our doctor. Let him and his award-winning team help you with any aches, pains, any new or long-standing issues. No appointment necessary. Physical locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can find them on the web right there. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. So while we wait for Pete, let's dive in, Eric. This is kind of the main topic of the week. I think it's been discussed quite a bit. So let's dive in. Let's get our takes in on this. The WWE dropped the ball with the Karrion Kross and Scarlett characters. Agree, disagree? Again, if you're over there on Facebook, on YouTube, or you're on X, Twitter, I still call it Twitter, please like, subscribe, share out, and comment in. We want to hear from everybody. So, Eric, kick us off here, buddy. What do you think about the, again, just so we're clear, because some of the opinions I see across the board are very weird, because people talk as if they were, like, released, and they weren't. Their contract came up. The contract was not renewed. So, I ask here, knowing that this is a contract expiring situation, what are your thoughts on this? Do you agree or disagree that WWE dropped the ball with Karrion Kross and Scarlett?
So I want to go back to 2022 when Karrion Kross returned. I believe he was released and then brought back, kind of part of Triple H's hiring. He went on and hired probably at least a dozen talent that had previously been with the company. And one of them was Karrion Kross and his wife Scarlett. So if you remember, in 2022, I believe it was in the summer, there was a ongoing feud with Roman Reigns. He was the Universal Champion, and Drew McIntyre. And at the end of SmackDown, Karrion Kross makes his return, and they have Scarlett take the hourglass, and it made it seem like it was a real big deal, and thought we were going to see a big push from Karrion Kross. And I had to kind of go back a little bit and find out what happened. I think he had a couple matches with Drew, and then he wound up feuding with Rey Mysterio, and then after that, not a whole lot. Not anything that I really remember. So the fact that he was brought back with the intention of giving him a big push, I think I agree that the WWE dropped the ball with Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Now, we'll see what happens. I've seen the kind of the conspiracy things that you're seeing, Chrome, where he's not really gone. He's re-signed. He's going to be, there's rumors everywhere that he's going to be at Triple Mania, or he's going to show up here and there, or whatever, TNA. But if this is the end, I think they definitely dropped the ball as far as what their plans were. If he didn't come back like that, then we probably wouldn't be talking too much about this. But the fact that he came back with such a big push at the very beginning, you're feuding with Roman, you're setting up a program, and didn't really go anywhere. So yeah, they dropped the ball.
What do you think here, Peter? Welcome in, by the way, Pete Evans in this very ring, various other A2D appearances here, buddy. Good to have you. Your thoughts on that? Yeah, I assume you heard Eric in his response there. I'd like to hear what you have to, or what your thoughts are on this.
I think they dropped the ball once they brought him back the second time and he had the long hair. It sounds crazy, but the visual of him with the long hair versus no hair or short hair, just way more intimidating with the short hair. But I think it's more something going on behind the scenes. And it's funny because he's a Trips guy. Like, we forget, I want to say, if we go back to his first run when he was at NXT, Keith Lee was he had the North American title and he had the world title when he beat Adam Cole. It was July 4th. And remember, that was when wasn't Sheiky. It was the other big dude that was with Jinder who had outed the finish of that because it was pre-tape because that was during COVID. Keith Lee was
Veer? Was that Veer Mahan or Veer?
No, it wasn't Veer. It was the other one.
It was the other guy. It was the other guy.
He's still coming to WWE. He's still coming to Raw.
Veer, yeah, still coming.
But no, so Keith Lee at that point was red hot. His first title defense in August, Karrion beat him. But Karrion got hurt that match too, if I'm not mistaken. Broken rib, like separated shoulder or something when he didn't hit the side Ito suplex on Keith Lee for the win. But then whatever he was supposed to be, Vince got his hands on him, Mad Max, this, that, and the third. And then in that second stint, because we all, once they changed the entrance when they called him up, the entrance itself, we always said him and Aleister Black, and even now, like, they're not the same, but that original entrance, all like when Scarlett's in the ring and he just comes up from behind, I was like, I can't wait to see this at a WrestleMania in the main event. That's the track and the path that he was headed on. Obviously, he gets released. He comes back, albeit long hair, what have you. Like you said, Eric, like he had this push. He was about to work a Roman. I think it's more about whatever it was. They never gave it time. I truly think at this moment, I definitely agree with the poll because it's so hard. And I think I heard somebody say it's in this day and age with your AEW mark and you AEW and you don't like WWE, right? One of the main things we hear about AEW marks is the in-ring is just so much better. The in-ring is just so much better. In this day and age, yes, you want to have that work rate, but a lot of guys have that work rate and have no charisma, no character attachment whatsoever. A la Ricochet, right? Karrion is one of the very, very few where the character connects, the character lands. And I would say like his work rate can be good. He was his second stint we never saw. I think we saw it in his first stint, especially in NXT, but they could never, whatever it was, whether the people were putting pen to paper, they can never capture that in the second stint. And it really is a letdown because this is when Church, like when he finally got at the helm, he was like, I'm bringing my guys back. Hell, I think if they remembered that Cole's contract was about to expire, Cole would still be there. You know what I mean? Because that was Tripp's guy. And I think this is probably one of the few that we've seen Trips bring in, lose once, and then exit again. Because I truly think at this moment, real world scenario, I do not think he's under a contract. Is it the potential that the business can get drummed up for him to come back? Maybe. But when I start seeing his t-shirts and his merch on ProWrestlingTees.com, if WWE's going through that work and they just did this with Seth, that's a little bit going too far because now somebody else is making money off of your talent, and that's what WWE don't want to have happen, right? I think it's if I had to give it a split, Chrome and Eric, if I had to give it a split, I would probably say 70-30. 70 on WWE, 30 somewhat on him. But ultimately, I don't know. I really don't know what he could have did different. I don't know what he could have did different. They gave him the stable AOP. At that point, I mean, could he have went and said, "I'm better off on my own"? Me and Scarlett better off on my own. You know what I mean? So I don't think AEW know what to do because they didn't know what to do with Aleister Black. I don't think they're in a position to know what to do with a guy like that. You know what I mean? So that's just my opinion.
I think the character is interesting, right? I thought it worked pretty well. Like, to me, the character. See, I like Kross a lot. I've always liked him.
I do.
I've been him for a long time. And I do think the best iteration of it has been the Karrion Kross, not the Killer Kross version, because I felt like that. It's just a weird character because, like, it's really good, but it can also be super corny at times.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that, like, there needs to be an evolution of the character. And I think they tried that with adding Paul Ellering and AOP. But I felt like it never got quite there. That being said, I do think if there was room for R-Truth to come back because the audience demands it, there's always a door open. He is a Hunter guy. Hunter wanted to bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's super weird that he gets pushed at the end, and I don't think it was to feed him to Sammy because he looked pretty good and honestly had the upper hand for most of that feud. It wasn't like he was just fed to Sammy.
Right.
So, they give him this great bright spot. They give him a feature at SummerSlam. He's competed at WrestleManias. I know.
Yeah.
It would not shock me if there is still a negotiation happening. I don't know that he's contracted right now, but it's interesting because I don't know what he could do in like that character to me would have worked best in TNA and Impact because of how
that relationships get sketchy too, though, because now they go hand in hand with NXT.
Yeah. Well, right. Well, I mean, it hasn't stopped people like Indy Hartwell, so I don't think it's a
no. It hasn't.
I mean, it's not a roadblock for anybody. You're still contracted over to TNA. Right. But like I felt like when he was with Impact before, they are a very creative company. They've been creative. That's one of the best things about them is they've taken risks, and I think it's what's kept them on the map. So they're willing to do different things with different characters that typically don't work in the WWE environment and honestly the A&W environment. But even then, I felt like it had a shelf life. So like I like the guy, I like his intensity, I like his in-ring work. But like the TikTok stuff and all like that needed to evolve. I feel like it's started to evolve, but it's almost kind of done it too late.
Yep. It's like the right story needed time to develop with him. It needed to have a beginning, maybe putting the clock out, have a middle, have an end. And ultimately it's just character who kind of like we used to give him that rub. Like if he came in contact with you, like the talent after that he worked with, their characters changed. Like they were different, but he wasn't. So how is he impacting people to be different? But he's not evolving, and it's like a character like that almost needed. I would say some people can make the title. Some people need a title. Some people need a title to make the title. Like he needed something, like even a mid-card title or something to put his stamp on it to where the fans was because, like you said, like. I don't remember seeing that many main card matches, main show matches, SmackDown Raw matches in the last 2 years, but he has been working. I mean, and the chance are there. Now, the one difference I would say between him and Truth is Truth, and I don't know about Kross behind the scenes as far as what the locker room and his peers view him as. We already kind of know that about Truth. And I think that had a lot to do with him being brought back. If Kross is brought back, I don't know if the locker room boys view him in the same as Truth. I'm not saying that they view him in a bad way, but this would be more of, I think they were really truly forced, where this is going to be somewhat forced, but also because somebody in that brass didn't want him there. I don't think it was Trips. I do not think it was Trips. But ultimately, somebody didn't want him there. And I'll pose this question to you. If he does come back, where does his status go? Because right now the main event scene on both brands is crowded. It is very crowded. Where does he go? Because at this point, if you have publicly been released and you've been doing all this posturing and now you're back, you're not coming back to do the same shit you were doing before. And I don't think do you justify him hot-shotting into a title? You know what I mean? What big impact can just him being back? And I definitely don't want to see them do what they did to Truth when they brought back R. Killers. This dude cut his locks, and now he's back doing a Happy Skippy and R. Truth as a SmackDown on Friday.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I think you're seeing the speculation they're comparing it to R. Truth. I think you're 100% correct on that, Pete. It's kind of you see what they did with Truth. He was gone, and then a few days later they bring him back. I agree. I think it's two totally different situations where, and of course we don't know what he's bringing to the locker room, and I think too, clearly he's a passionate guy. Clearly he cares. Mm-hmm. You know, he put himself over the last few months. I think it was kind of forced upon WWE to put him on TV, and I think the fact that he was able to get himself on TV, because the fans were asking for him. They were behind him, and they were even during the SummerSlam match they were behind him and they were booing Sammy. So there was definitely some stuff there. His merchandise is selling on WWE Shop. He's one of the top sellers. So there's definitely things positive things to kind of justify bringing him back. But I think to your point too, Pete, and Chrome saying the same stuff, is there really anything for him to do in WWE? Maybe it's time for him to go to TNA. I think TNA would be perfect. Yeah. He's a familiar face there. He's been there before, and he's hot still, and he's probably now the hottest free agent. So you bring him in, and you've got a whole new look, and he's got that creativity where he could work with the writers at TNA and come up with stuff really well for maybe down the road. He could wind up coming back. You just don't know. But I think right now, just not the time. And clear AEW don't know what to do with. He's not an AEW guy. Well, you could bring him back for a week on Dynamite, and then he's going to be lost in the fold like everybody else.
Well,
that they've brought back.
Here's the thing, right? It's all rumor and innuendo, but I don't even know that AEW is an option for him anyway. If there's any truth to the word out there that there's heat between him and Callis,
right?
Don Callis.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
There's been floating out there that from her time in Impact, Don Callis and Scarlett don't have a great relationship.
Okay.
I don't want to put specifics out because, again, it's rumor and innuendo.
Right.
Some stuff may or may not be appropriate. We're not really sure. But regardless, or maybe he just wasn't nice to her.
Yeah. I think either way he's not a fit there. And I think to AEW's credit, recently they've kind of stayed out of that drama. And they've kind of stayed out and they've kind of tried to distance themselves. You notice, they're not bringing up WWE anymore. They're not doing a lot of that stuff. So, and I give them credit for that. It's tough to see the big brand having issues and having a lot of rumor going around. The Karrion Kross, the Brock Lesnar stuff. It'd be easy for them to take a jab, but they're not. They're full steam ahead with what they're doing, whether you like it or not, whether you're a fan of it or not. They're doing. They're not mentioning it, and hats off to them for that. They're doing their own thing, but I don't think. But also in that sense, I think there may be lessons learned where this guy's not going to we're not just going to sign somebody just to sign somebody. You got Keith Lee still sitting on the sideline. Adam Cole, he's there, but what does he really do? He's TNT champion, but he's kind of lost in the fold. There's a variety of guys that you could say, and Karrion Kross would just be, or Killer Kross would be the same exact thing. So I don't think regardless of rumor and innuendo or not, I don't think he's a fit there. I think TNA would be the destination that I would say would work best for him.
Do you think? Yeah. Go ahead, Chrome.
I was just gonna say. I mean, to your point, I look at the AEW fit. Let's take any rumor and innuendo off the table, and let's just say open door, right? I believe this would be like another Rusev situation where you're going to come in and you're going to get the buzz. It's the same problem across the board. And Eric, me and you talk about this almost daily. The bottom line is the internet has created an environment in this industry where you're exposed to so much incredible talent that there is never going to be enough spots at the top of the card. It's why when people and Eric, it's people that we're friends with, when they'll say to me, well, Johnny Gargano, he could have went to AEW and he could have been this and that, and look at him now and this. And now, mind you, they are featured every week, but this is before they're being featured.
Right.
It's why someone like Kevin Owens says, I just want to go out there. I don't care about being the champion. It's not a real thing.
Right.
It is a stature, but at the end of the day, it's not the be-all, end-all. I want to go out. I want to have great matches with whoever I'm doing it with, and I want to be happy with what I'm doing. Now, some people want to be world champion, and honestly, I get it. You should want to be. At the end of the day, there's just not enough spots.
No.
Unless we're giving everybody a 3-week run and then you don't get it back for, it's going to become like the All-Star game where Philly gets it and it don't come back for 30 years. Like, we just don't have enough spots.
I think Kross is like that, though, to speak to that point. I think Kross has shown how selfless he is. Agreed. And I just think he wants to just make that impact, proverbially speaking, and it doesn't necessarily need to be around a title or things of that nature. But as you were, Kross, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Well, real quick, shout out to our boys down here, Rob Povia, Brian Daly, Madison Sudi. Flyers Talk A2D on Niche Night here on Tuesday nights. They're back tonight after having last week off. So make sure you guys stay tuned, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get in there to the best hockey show you'll find. I mean, it's not they talk a hell of a lot of Flyers, but they will talk anything, and they know what they're talking about. I'm telling you, it's the best hockey show you'll find. But yeah, I just there's just not enough spots, right? And the other thing too is, ever since Daniel Bryan and the Yes Movement, which I love, and then you had Kofi Mania, and now because you got R-Truth back, like I just can't stand this. The internet wrestling community thinks if they bitch enough, they're going to get their way. It doesn't work that way. Where were you 3 months ago when Kross needed you guys to be out there and tweeting out? Nobody was.
Nope.
So don't come like now because you're there at the post show at SummerSlam 2 weeks before his contract expires. Like, cut me a break.
It's too late now.
Yeah, like it's just we're in a world where you take a look at Becky Lynch is a prime example of this. We build them up. We build them up. We build them up. We build people up to break them down. And then we take these people or we ignore them until it's too late. And then because we want to put something out there and if we're behind this movement, our voice can be heard on the internet and we'll get more clicks and likes and follows because of this kind of stuff, because it's a hot topic, it's a taboo topic or take on something. This is the environment we're in. I'm not saying Kross doesn't deserve it, but what I'm saying is the fact that anybody is up in arms about this, and the fact that like this, if this was a carryover that goes a month from now, people are still chanting this, I'm going to laugh in their faces because you'll have chanted this longer than you actually supported the guy before his contract expired.
Yep.
And that's just,
Absolutely.
it's just, and again, I'm a Kross guy. I've always been a Kross guy. I think what Vince did with him, putting him under that stupid helmet and almost making him like Farouk 2.0, it was terrible. But he was
Mr. Sparta, bro.
Yeah, it was awful. But obviously, I think he has the potential to connect to an audience. The character there needs to be something different, which sucks because it's one of the best entrances in wrestling.
Him? Literally.
And Scarlett.
Armchair quarterback.
Like, we haven't even talked about Scarlett yet, who is another tremendous people don't realize, because if you're only a WWE person,
you never seen her wrestle.
Scarlett can wrestle.
Yeah.
Scarlett can wrestle.
Yeah, she was wrestling on TNA.
Yeah.
Not even that. She was going to Mexico, she was going to Japan and working with some of the top talent. She can wrestle.
Ideal scenario is somehow, some way, Aleister Black is in the ring, whatever, Y6 comes out, Aleister needs back up, him and Karrion, immediately you give Y6 someone like them, just from a different motive, different side. And then there you go, and you run with it. And then him and Al, just something like that. And then now we've seen it. LA Knights on Raw. You don't need the stupid draft. Just move people to where they're needed. You know what I mean? To where they can do something. It's just
thank you.
If it was a money thing, you know what I mean? Something. It's just weird. It's just weird. But like you said, the IWC, no one's ever fucking happy. They want it instantaneously. All the time. They don't like Roman because he's not around enough, and then they don't like Brock, but if Roman's around him more than Brock, and this, that, and the third. It's just we live in a society now where everybody can't be happy.
You know what I'm seeing this week is Seth's on too much. Seth Rollins, I'm sick of Seth. I'm sick of Seth already. Can he drop the title? Are you kidding me?
Dude, it's
like, and I
How many SmackDowns
you don't have anything on Raw.
No, how many SmackDowns ended like that from 2020 to 2024 when the Bloodline was at the top? That was every show.
Yeah.
The Bloodline was on top. People were laid out. You dealt with that every show. We get it now for 2-3 weeks with Seth, and now everybody's sick of it already. I don't know, man. It's just, but that's why I don't listen. I'm so happy that Triple H and the team, they don't listen to that. They just kind of do what they do, and you fall in where you fall in, because guess what? They're still doing business. They're still doing numbers. They're still doing with or without Kross. It's just, we've had this type of exit has been paved for years, and how the underutilization of NXT talent. We've seen it with Shinsuke. We've seen it with Samoa Joe. We've seen it with so many people, right? And it's a shame, but like, I just think he wanted this opportunity, and then whatever the number was, it couldn't work out. And I think, in my personal opinion, if I was him, I would try to go copy. I would try to go on the indies or do something and make my name as big as possible. And it sounds cliche because Cody did it, but you undesirable, it become undeniable. I think he has that. He just needs to get that one chance to run with the ball. You know what I mean? That one chance to run with the ball, and then make him undeniable and come back. Because I think at this point, like we all said, like, he's never been more talked about and on the tip of more people's tongues than he has been right now.
Yeah, I mean, you see,
you're muted, Chrome. I can't hear you.
Now, I was saying, sorry, Chrome. Now, I was say, Cardona's doing that. He's been doing it for years. It can be
exactly
done.
What I was saying.
It can be done. And it's only a matter of time before he comes back.
Mm-hmm.
To WWE.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, Eric. Cardona is the prime example. And, just because this is the second time a guy was released doesn't mean he can't come back either, right? He's 100% a possibility of somebody that could come back. I think it needs to happen. I think he needs to go, and I think he needs to find himself. We're still walking around yelling TikTok. I think then maybe being the best on the independent scene is what he needs to be doing. He could go to like a GCW and really help build his name there. He's been in Lucha Underground. He's done a lot of creative stuff. I know he's done some of those hardcore and death matches. It could be a spot for him. And he can make a lot of money there. As Matt Cardona, speaking of. You can make a lot of money on the indies, especially if you're this hot, if your name is this in the scene as it is right now.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be interesting to follow it. I'm sure we'll be tracking this as we go along. Quick question here by Brian. Niche Night, by the way. I love that. Or Brad, rather. Brad, just a quick minute here, says, let's talk Lesnar for a minute. A dream match I want to see is Lesnar versus Gunther. Do you guys agree? And we're supposed to get it last year at WrestleMania 40. And, things happened as they did. But, yeah, Brad, I think it'd be a great match. I think the guys here probably agree to that, and maybe it's something we get down the road. I don't know what the deal is with Lesnar right now. I wasn't going to dive into this right this second, but since we're here, let's take 2 seconds and jump in. I'm on the fence now from what we talked last week, right?
7 days.
I think if we're going in with Cena right away, it's great. But if we just went for this to have a short-term pop, I mean, maybe he's probably going to show up at Clash in Paris, I would imagine. But
did we need it?
Why are we going to Logan Paul now? I mean, the match is going to be amazing. By the way,
right?
I'm not knocking it.
Yep.
I thought we would get that maybe like in a couple of months. I figured it was going to happen. But why are we bringing Brock back now? Then why?
Yeah. So I did see some speculation that it looks like they're going to have Brock and Cena program for this PLE that they're adding to go up against All Out.
When is that?
So is that adding a Cena appearance then?
So from what certain outlets are reporting is that there is a unnamed PLE that is going to be added in Indianapolis. Correct me if I'm wrong. It could be. I think it might be in October, but it's going to go head to head with the weekend of All Out, and the match is going to be Cena Lesnar. So, if that's the case, I agree with you, Chrome. I think you see him in France, but that's a big match that you put. I mean, if you're going to put anything up against a AEW pay-per-view, that's probably it. That's probably what you do. But if that's the case, to go back to so it's funny. Shout out to Rue. I was talking to Rue today. Actually, we were talking about WrestleMania bookings, and that match got brought up for WrestleMania. I think it was between Gunther, Brock, or Braun Breaker, and I think we talked about that last week. Some of these fantasy matchups with Brock, whether you like them or not, there's matches that can be done and matches that would be awesome to see. So I think Gunther. I think like we said last week too. Gunther can wrestle anybody and make it good. And it would be interesting to see somebody that's stronger than Gunther in there, where he's the smaller of the two, which doesn't happen a whole lot. And he's usually the aggressor. And
somebody that's technically more skilled than him too.
Yeah, absolutely. You got somebody that's you're absolutely right. So
from a wrestling standpoint, it's probably more skilled.
And you don't need to put a title on the line for that match to matter. And I think Gunther's promo work, has definitely improved. Mm-hmm. Like when he first came in, and he's getting an opportunity. Like he's very dry, but he's very swift with he's very witty with his comments, and he's really good. And he's gotten a lot better. So I think it'd be a good match.
Yeah.
He's Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
But in this situation, in this match, I think they have the opportunity to bring him back as a face when he comes back.
Who, Brock?
No, Gunther.
Right. I've been dying for it. I've been yelling for this for how long, Pete? 6 months,
Wow.
7 months? Yeah. We talked about it a few weeks ago. I think me and Eric talked about it. Like,
he's almost like the male Charlotte, to where he has this status because he spent 80% of his time in WWE as a champion. Now he has vulnerability, right? Peel some of that back, and he got cocky, right? That's why he lost the title. Like literally, his second reign was shorter than Jey Uso's first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, obviously transitional, but it is what it is. But kind of play on that confidence a little bit, make him human, make him vulnerable, and then there we go. We get the, and like you said, it really doesn't need a whole lot of hype and frills. I mean, shit, AEW don't give you that. They just tell you who facing who, but no story, no nothing. And people tune in to watch it all the time. So it's one of those things. I would love to see it. Me, Metal Mike, how do we feel about Brock being back in the company? But is he truly? I mean, we talked about it last week on last week's show. Legal cleared him. You know what I mean?
That's what I was
There's not much we really can do.
I
Yeah,
will.
he-
I will. I was just going to say this, boys, because I love the question, the metal Mike. We did almost a full hour on this last week.
Yeah.
Go
So
back and watch.
yeah, the whole like I don't, and I for the most part, aside from the comment where I said if we're getting Logan Paul now, I don't know why we did it yet.
Right.
If you want to know our thoughts on him being back with the company, I don't think anybody's changed since then. And you got a whole 6-person panel last week. I would, or was it 5-person? I don't remember. But either way, I would say
It was 5. We're missing
go
2.
back.
Yeah, we had 5. Yep.
Last week's episode, please go back and check it out. It's our SummerSlam recap episode. We thought we were going to do a half an hour. It ended up being a whole almost hour discussion on this. So I don't want to go down that road because we only have an hour today. But we appreciate it, and you're dropping other stuff in here, which I love. I think Kross goes to TNA or AEW or back to the Indies, works his butt off, comes back to WWE, looking even better.
Yep.
Absolutely, I love that.
Can I say something? Oh, sorry.
Is there a possibility? That's okay.
Nah.
No. Brock's going to be a heel, I think, at this point. If I'm wrong, guys, please feel free to argue this point with me. If you're bringing Brock now, with what's out there, the worst thing to try to do is to present him as a likable character.
You 1,000% correct.
And there's no way, we went into that conversation last week, right, when we talked about Cena's heel run and how guys like Punk and guys like Orton, and honestly, I think Roman at this point, there is no more heel or face for them.
They're just guys, yeah.
They are just guys that people want to cheer for.
Yeah.
And Cena's in that category now too.
So
I think you cannot put Brock or anywhere close to the people as a buddy or an ally to the people that are the face of your company. When you're talking Punk and Roman and Cody, that's the faces on the male side of your company right now.
Yeah.
Can I wanted to talk about Logan Paul.
Yes, go ahead.
Real quick. So the guy, like him or not, has shown that he can put on a great match.
Mm-hmm.
He's delivered every single time. And I think that, we go back to Karrion Kross. Somebody didn't like him. Somebody in somebody behind the scenes doesn't see it. I think unanimously, and it's being proven, that they love Logan Paul, and they're going to put him in main event matches because he's delivering. And I think you're seeing that. You're even seeing it this year. He was in Elimination Chamber. He tagged with Cena. He's been in feature matches with the tag match at SummerSlam. They have really, they're showing that they trust Logan Paul to deliver in a big time match. So, and I know there's, talk about, is Cena picking his guys? And I know there was a comment that he made about, Brock coming back saying, they deal the cards and I play them. So Cena is saying that he's not picking his opponents. I think he's probably got some feedback and who he's working with. But you notice the trend. He's been in. This will be the third match he's been with him this year, and I think part of it is he wants to give back. Cena wants to give back to all these young guys, and like it or not, Logan Paul is the future. So I think in Cena's eyes, he's giving Logan Paul his opportunity on the main stage, and quite frankly, like we said before with Lesnar, I wouldn't be surprised if Logan goes over. Because do I think it's going to be clean? Probably not. But I wouldn't be surprised because I think that WWE, and I think it's being proven that John Cena values what Logan Paul's bringing.
I want to add on to that too, right? So I agree with you. And again, I'm not against the Logan Paul program. I think that they almost kind of teed that up with Saturday night's main event when they teamed up together anyway. So, right, It's a logical thing. He is one of the future faces of your company. And while you're getting the greatest hits, you've also gotten Cena working with some of the young up-and-coming talent, which is why I think at some point, and it's been rumored, although we'll see how true that is, he's probably going to get a match with Dominic Mysterio in some form or fashion as well. But I think that also gives a validity to the idea of Gunther being one of his opponents as well. Now, I know Gunther's older than Logan is. I think Logan's 30, Gunther's 37. But in terms of the wrestling community, 37 is still young.
The way Gunther is, he'll be wrestling until he's 50.
Correct. It's 37 is young. I mean, AJ Styles is only 47, right? And he's been the face of WWE, not even for the last 3 years, but before that, basically since he came in, right? So a long run, like we may still not have even scratched the surface on where Gunther and his ceiling is, let alone Logan Paul at 30 years old or Dominic Mysterio. So I think you're right in that, right? Like that we're going to see Cena work with this talent down in this last little stretch. Again, now that we're not getting it right away, I feel like I could care less about the Brock program. You know, I wanted them to if you're going to do it and you're going to punch me in the mouth with it, I need a payoff. Like I think the last thing to do with Brock Lesnar with the situation as it is to slow burn anything.
Yeah, there's no need to.
Oh my God, it's just
there's so much history there already, dude.
Like to me, just having him show up was not the tear off the Band-Aid moment.
Is there a September PLE?
Well, we were talking about October. It's supposed to be October.
I believe it.
I don't think there is a. I know
it might be some. It would be whenever All Out is
October in Perth. So the one that Eric is talking about may be September. Then if that's the case, then it's really. I mean, it runs in just the shit that Logan Paul will talk if he gets a win over Cena is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah,
which I love.
Yeah, and he's a heat magnet, and it's gonna Cena's like, and I think this. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but Cena's now just becoming a babyface again. So who better to put in there with him than a heat-seeking, just big time.
And it's the character he plays is completely opposite from how they said he is in real life. Obviously, he had this incident in Japan, but they said like in real life, when it comes to the kids, like all that, like Logan is all about that. Like he's a face in real life, but it's hard to get. You know, I
told you about what he did on when he talked on the McAfee show when he like broke character, and really talked about like wanting to like entertain the kids and create an environment where the kids are inspired to do more. And that's when I said, all right, this guy, when the camera's on, he turns it on. And I'm not just saying the WWE camera, just any camera is on him.
Right.
He turns on. He knows how to sell himself.
He plays the game to his benefit.
It's he plays the world.
He plays the character not on screen. And I think, and he does it to the betterment of his financial situation and his his status. And now look at him now. He's got a WWE contract, and he's like him or not, he's picked it up quickly. He knows how to talk. He knows how to get heat, and he knows how to perform. And he's shown it in every situation he's been in. Yeah. September 20th is that date. So you're right, Pete. You're right. It's that's all out. September 20th, it's all out.
So that would probably be what it, because I mean you have on their PLE schedule, as according to Wikipedia, Triple Mania is considered a WWE PLE.
Yeah.
If Dom doesn't walk out with that title Saturday, I'll riot.
What a
Heat Wave, that'd be. Clash in Paris. This is all August plus SummerSlam. It's 4 if you count Triple Mania.
Yeah.
4 in this month. So then you have that break until you get the Crown Jewel, and then you have Survivor Series. There's nothing in December as of now, other than a Saturday night's main event. So, see, we just keep going down, and this is what happens. I want to steamroll through a couple things this last.
Pull us out, host. Pull us out. Pull us out.
Like we said at the beginning, Chrome. Nothing to talk. There's nothing to talk about.
I know. This is what always happens. But this is great because it's a lot of this. It's our comments driving it, and we're excited for it. Please, guys, keep commenting. And we talk about what you guys want. If it takes us off the show criteria and we just go down rabbit holes, that's what we do. But I do want to pull us out on a couple topics here. He says, what's going on with Bayley not being the main event? Seems like either her returning back to a villain or she's burnt out in the company and no one's listening to Bayley. This is one of our main topics, as you can see at the bottom here. So I do want to get in. I just want to get your guys' thoughts. So last night we see this promo, right, from Bayley, where she's talking about, being the role model and what she thought it represented to her and to others, and then realizing that there's a lot more responsibility that comes with it, a lot more pressure, and that doing that can change you. And then you start getting this weird thing where it's like she's like getting a headache, and then the screen gets fuzzy behind her. I'm intrigued though.
Yes.
So, Bayley was super hot WrestleMania 40 last year. I was in the crowd. We were in the crowd when she won that title, and the crowd popped for her. Went insane.
Mm-hmm.
It went downhill very, very, very fast. I think the Nia Jax feud did not do her any favors, and I think it just went downhill from there. So I'm curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are, because I don't know I don't know what the direction of this, which is what I love. I hope we're not getting some weird supernatural crap, but is this an inner turmoil? Like what?
The one thing that stuck out to me, what she said in that promo last night, was like, she said, "I've done all this and I have nothing to show for it."
Right. Even though she has tons to show for it.
Right. Exactly. So like, how are you? The lack of confidence within the self is one of two scenarios. Either she goes heel, different from the role model heel that we saw, right? Or she's completely lost, can't find herself, and ultimately path leads back to her being a hugger again. Because what's that little girl's name that now she wrestles? Her name is Izzy something?
Yeah.
I think she's 18 now. She's an actual wrestler, right? So
yeah, she's wrestling on the indies, yeah.
Maybe this can be, how do you find yourself again? Or it's just like you lose it. Because when we first thought this, right, between that friction that her and Lyra had, it was a moment there I thought maybe Lyra's turning heel in this standpoint, right? And that still can happen, because after that, when we had the interview with, it wasn't Kathy Kelly, it's the other chick. I always forget her name. The chick from Canada, the hockey chick. WWE. What is her name?
Jackie Redmond.
Lyra's pretty much like, you think this is on me? This isn't my fault. And she walks off.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're like what you said, like right now we're all getting worked. We're all getting got, because we have no idea. They can go in so many different directions. And it really doesn't need to be around the title. The friction is just there between Bayley having this inner turmoil, her loss for herself. Other people are going to bring us up to like, Lyra, you triggered this. And she's going to keep saying it's not her fault. And then Bayley can become more vulnerable. I don't care what it is. I just need to see Bayley on TV. Listen, I love my wife with all my heart. If I ever saw Bayley in person, dog, it's whew, I'm trying. I call it the tribal peach. That's what I call it. I call it the tribal peach because it's googly moogly.
So,
not to objectify anybody. I'm just saying we have assets. We have tools.
So one thing we didn't bring up about that was at the very end, she laughs. Like there's this like real like,
I didn't catch that
mystery laugh. I caught it today when I was rewatching. At the very end, there's like it's like that heel laugh that she had. You know, remember like she would do her promos. It was like, yeah. It was kind of just like, and I don't know what to take
like
on that,
like a cackle almost.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. Like it was like that screechy laugh that she had when she was a heel, when she was with Damage Control.
Okay,
but
how many heel women do they have on Raw?
See, so. And I know we're going to talk about Bayley, but I'll tell you what, I'm very impressed with this Raw women's division as of late. And I know Chrome and we talked about 6 months ago when Liv Morgan went down with an injury that there were no challengers. There were like when they were struggling to get somebody to take over and they had to bring Becky back. You know, it's come a long way. Mm-hmm. And I think Bayley can benefit from that with a lot of these challengers. And I think in comparison to SmackDown with the U.S. title, they have done an outstanding job with the Intercontinental title on Raw.
And only centered around 3 or 4 people. They haven't really centered around it, but they brought interest to the title.
Yeah, and I think Bayley...
Well, look what it did for Lyra at this point.
Yeah, and absolutely.
And she needed that.
And I think, they're only scratching the surface. But go back to Bayley real quick. I know Bayley's the topic. I think there's a lot that can be done there, and I think it's a lot of truth into. She's probably frustrated. She's probably looking at when her and I think I've read that her contract is probably up next year. So it's a lot of maybe she stays, maybe she but nobody needs to know that. That makes for great TV because you can you could think however you think of based on what we're seeing as far as her best friends in AEW. So maybe part of her is like what could be what if I go to AEW, but she could be thinking the opposite where it's like, all right, well I'm going to recreate myself and I'm not going anywhere. I like I want to stay. So this last few months she's going to put it all out there and see what happens. But I think it could be a situation. It could be Hugger. I didn't even think of that. But I also think it could be an edgier version of Bayley.
I hope we don't get back to the Hugger.
I think it could be.
That would only work if you bring the little girl in. That's it. That would be it.
I think it could be an edgier version of her, where it may not be necessarily a heel, like kind of a tweener, where she's unpredictable. Maybe those headaches are kind of like, all right, I'm gonna, go after the heels. I'm gonna go after. Maybe it's her teaming up with Lyra again, and there's a lot of different avenues.
There's a lot of different avenues.
Yeah. And real quick, like that, I think that tag team thing, because you're starting to see the pieces build with different tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Charlotte and Alexa as the tag champions. They're going to be on Raw and SmackDown. So you're going to need some challengers on Raw. You've got Judgment Day, but now you're starting to plant the seeds with Kabuki Warriors and now EO and Rhea Ripley. So that could be another team. So I think they're in a good spot, and I think it's a good opportunity for Bayley to get the most out of what is to come. And I love the production that they do with these promos, because it hopefully we see another one next week, and it makes makes us have some more questions.
Yeah, and listen, as far as the women's division goes in WWE, they're outside of Tony Storm and Mercedes. After what there's a couple others I like, but after what I've seen lately on AEW week in and week out, and Eric, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The worst in WWE would be top girls in AEW. Like Maxine could be a top girl in AEW. Like that's not even a joke. And I thought Maxine, by the way, I know she's still developing.
It was all right.
She held her own this week against Becky. And maybe that's part of it, was allowing her to have that learning experience with Becky in a big match.
Yep.
So good for her.
And we're probably gonna get Becky and Natty out of that, which I
think
I don't know. I don't see. It depends, because Natty in the independents right now. I don't want to go down this road. I'm gonna make this statement, then we're gonna move to this question here by Johnny. Natty, what she's done in the independents, what she's done in NWA and Bloodsport, completely different character than what we're still getting in WWE. Give me that Natty. Yep. Give me the one that's working out there. Put her up against Becky. I'll put a damn world title on that Natty. And I mean it. And I've been over Natty for 7 years.
Yeah.
But that Natty, I've seen it firsthand in front of me. I'll put a title on her all day in any company.
Yeah.
Give me that. Otherwise, I don't want it. Don't give me the same old bullshit. Johnny says Wyatt 6 are amazing, and I want to make them more scarier. I don't get the same vibes. I did with the Wyatt family, but they need to give me the same vibes. They need to use them more. Would you agree? Just a quick hit on this. I think we're getting there, obviously.
Yeah.
Tag titles is a big thing. I think we're getting there. Maybe Bo's not 100% because although he did take that big spot.
Yeah.
So maybe I digress on that. But I think we're getting there. I like what I'm seeing with the company. I think Nikki Cross, I want to see more with her, Sister Abigail. That I need to see. But overall,
they're having them talk too much for me. Just don't talk. Just show up. I don't need you to talk.
Well, the thing is, the whole reason that the brakes were pumped on them is, they were still developing, and your mouthpiece and figurehead is Bo Dallas, who got hurt.
Yeah.
So he missed a lot of time which I think derailed them. Putting them in this situation as the tag team champions and letting them be that unpredictable in that, I think, has been really good. So that's what I think, Johnny. I hope that's helpful to you. I think that's kind of what we're looking at. Another interesting question here. Do we want to go down this road? I haven't really done enough research on it yet in terms of the numbers, but I'm not.
Chances are, if you already pay for cable or YouTube TV, you will not have to pay $29.99.
Correct.
So I do. Yeah, I mean, I already have ESPN Plus. What are they going to make? Are they going to charge me more? I have to look at.
There may be like an add-on, like maybe $5 or $10 a month.
Yeah,
it's what we're doing now. Now they're taking UFC and putting it on something else.
Paramount. Yeah.
So the same company is.
So they got WWE, but the UFC left.
Yeah. So UFC signed a deal with Paramount Plus for
TKO,
7 years.
not the UFC. TKO. TKO owns them. TKO, the same company that owns WWE.
They got it all, baby.
Have now taken. They put one product on and they shifted the other one somewhere else.
Yep.
They are literally monopolizing everything. They are spreading their seed.
They are trying to recoup their debt.
Yeah.
So they're still in debt. So they're doing everything in their power to get back into the black. I think this is huge for it's changing the way everybody watches TV. I think cable, unfortunately, and it was funny. I was walking the dogs yesterday with my wife, and we were talking about the streaming services that we have. Like how many, like how many you got? Like you need Netflix, you need Peacock, you need Paramount, you need Hulu. Like it's like HBO. It's like them on top of your cable or YouTube TV or whatever you got. It's like eventually we might revert back to the cable at some point because of all these people are going to be tired of these streaming
if you piecemeal it together, if you're a cord cutter and you add all this up, you're not that far away from cable. But
Definitely
the problem is cable doesn't have the good shows. Like cable shows aren't winning Emmys. You know what I mean? In prime time.
Nope.
The shows that are winning Emmys and stuff, the shows that are classic or that are high regard are coming from streaming services. Severance.
So you're going to get people who are going to get hot boxes that they're going to start ripping stuff off of.
Not the hot box, but the hot fire stick.
Like the VPNs. You got your Nords out there and stuff like that, where you can, people watch Netflix because Netflix has WWE outside of the U.S. So they'll
they had the PLEs outside the U.S.
Yeah. So they can watch Raw and the PLEs and just change their location, and they can watch them straight from there, and they can watch them commercial free too.
But this is what they do. They spread everything around. It's all over the place. Then to force you to have to pay for something else, they run 1 million commercials. So even though I get Peacock for free with my cable,
and you can't change it.
I have XP. Well, you can, but I tried to watch this was when the Broken Skull sessions were on. There were so many commercials. The first 20 minutes or 30 minutes of the Jericho interview. I'm talking 6 or 7 3-minute long commercial breaks. At that moment, I literally said, "Fuck it, I'm upgrading it right now," and I did.
Yeah,
I turned it off. I upgraded.
That's what they want. That's what they want. And I'm guilty of it. So I have YouTube Premium because I had that free trial and I loved it. And then I went back to the ads. I'm like, even just YouTube, I love it. I pay it because I don't want to
get YouTube Music with that too.
I do the YouTube Premium too, but just because I
if I'm listening to something in the car, I don't want to hear an ad. I want to continue with it and not have to
Correct, and I did it. I did it for that, and also I'm in the process of building and this is already known, so it's not a big deal. There is a Lazy Booking YouTube page with our episodes. They air live here on A2D Radio, and then I archive them if you want to have a direct route to get to them. It's just a way to archive them. So I have a YouTube page where the videos then get uploaded to the Lazy Booking page. So I have the premium on that. And also for the same reason, if I want to watch one of our A2D shows or do this or that, and I want to comment, I don't want a million frigging commercials, and it drives me nuts. So
Yep. Anyway,
we'll do 5 more. If anybody wants to jump off, you can. Any thoughts on this world title match? I am indifferent on this.
You talking about the Fatal 4-Way?
The Fatal 4-Way. I don't really care about it.
So
I'm not very excited about this PLE. I'm not going to lie.
No. And again, shout out to Rue. We were talking about Nick. There's no realistic reason for some of these guys. Like, I love LA Knight. That's my guy. I love that he's on Raw because he's actually getting matches. He was kind of lost in the shuffle on SmackDown, and I think this guy should have been champion 2 years ago. You know, if they were gonna pull the trigger, it would have been 2 years ago. I think right now it's just like we talked about. It's very crowded at the top. It's just not going.
He ain't no spring chicken either.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. I love that Braun thing last night. You're 40 and 47, 100 combined. So great, so great. But anyway, I think I think it'll be a good match. But I don't. Seth's not losing the title right now.
No,
it's not. This is going to continue on for a while. It's one of those kind of periods with the world title. And I think you're going to see it with Cody with the WWE title. We're kind of going to be in this phase where they're going to have matches, and they gotta work harder. Meaning the WWE, like the writers, they're going to have to come up with ways to make these matches mean something, because right now, like, I like LA Knight in there, and now you throw Jey Uso in there. Like, they all have, like, in story, they all have their reason to be in this match, and it's kind of I'm sure the match will be good, but it's kind of tough for me to get behind it.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, above all of them, I think Bronson Reed is an absolute superstar. By the way, I love Bronson Reed so much. I love this character that he's doing now. He is everything that I want.
That promo that and they did one with him, like they did with Bayley. I really like that.
He is everything that I want in a big, athletic monster heel. Mm-hmm. And they are hitting it out of the ballpark with him. For all the people that dumped on him when he was there before, because I thought he was decent before, and then they brought him back and said, why the hell would you bring that guy? This is what they saw in him. An absolute beast.
You want to put the rocket ship on him? Have him beat Roman at in Paris.
I mean,
I don't think they do that.
They won't. No.
But I think he'll give him a really good. I think they're going to give him a good show. I think he's gonna.
Is that match been booked? Is that official? No, and the words of Adam Pearce.
So no, but Roman is advertised for Raw Monday in Philly.
Are you going? You guys going?
I would think no. And that's a whole nother conversation we could have.
If John Cena is not on it, I am not paying the prices they're asking for right now.
And I saw on WrestleTix today, they're only set up for less than 10,000 seats. They got plans to tarp a lot of that off, and I don't know. I think maybe they just didn't plan to have a big show, but they're not sold out. There's a lot of tickets left.
The last 2 weeks, and last week was okay, especially this week. This was not a very eventful Monday Night Raw.
No.
I think we basically touched on the best part of it.
Yeah, and I think, the way it was set up, it wouldn't surprise me if you get a 6-man tag next week with Braun Bronson and Seth versus Jay, LA Knight, and Punk. Okay. But then, if Punk's if Roman's advertised, you probably see him try to get some revenge on Bronson, and that could set up. I think that's where it's headed. It could. Yeah. Will it be France? Might not be. Maybe it's Saturday Night's Main Event coming up. I think they got one. They got another one coming up soon, don't they? Saturday Night's Main Event, or is the last one.
Yeah. December. I know.
They're not going to wait that long for it, but
No.
I think the whole Shula Fala and it goes back to Jean-Pierre Lafitte stealing Bret Hart's jacket. It's like I like it, but it's like it's kind of at the end of the day, it's like, all right, I got my shoes back. All right, I'm fighting a guy because he stole my shoes.
But what did we talk about last week, though, Eric? Right? I said it's almost like the old school bully beats you up in the schoolyard and takes your sneakers. And did he not reference that in this promo this week?
He did, but
people are calling me the old schoolyard bully.
He did,
and I love it. I mean, I'm all for it. Make it your gimmick, though. Do it to everybody. Beat this shit out of everybody. Put designer sneakers on them and take everybody's sneakers. And then you go back and why can't I think of their name on? What is Dom Mysterio's group called?
Judgment Day?
Oh my God, I'm brain farting right now. Yeah, Judgment Day. How they have their clubhouse. You go back to the locker room and Bronson just has a shoe rack lined up of sneakers. And every week he comes in and you see him he's polishing up the pair of sneakers. Paul comes up to him. Oh, we have a big moment. He's like, hold on. He's just polishing up the sneak. I'm here for it. Let's go.
I think him and Roman wear the same size too, because I know me and Roman wear the same size. I'm a 13 too.
Well,
so they're all.
Well, there you go. You can go borrow a pair of his. Any last thoughts here, guys, before we?
I just want to give a shout out to Io and Roxanne from last night. That was
a good match.
Yes,
that was one of the best parts of.
And it's just how much they rely on Roxanne already, and she's like 22 years old.
She's amazing.
The future is bright. You know, we talked about a lot of the young talent, and that's another one. There's they've got a lot of.
Think about a couple of years ago, Eric, right before Mercedes Sasha left WWE. Everybody said, well, WWE has no young talent. Because at the time, the only under 30 talent they had that was somewhat being pushed was Theory, Sasha, and Dom when he was teaming with Ray. And everybody said, they don't deserve that spot. He's being put in this spot because of his father and this and that. Well, guess what? In hindsight, look at how this company was set up with Braun Breaker and all of this young talent. Look at what Dom's become. How many young women they have at this point now. This company is definitely doing a really good job. Night and day from 3 or 4 years ago in passing the torch.
Yeah, I think he's earned the opportunity, and it's like you, especially with Dom is just they want to cheer him, and whenever they shouldn't do it right now. Like they keep going with it, and it's just gonna come to a head, and it's gonna just come naturally and organically. So they've done a really nice job with him. He's definitely earned it. And, I think someone in the chat said nepotism, but he's earning it. Like if he wasn't getting a reaction, he wouldn't be on TV. I think he's definitely earned
the psychology part of how to do what we see and what we love. He has that. I saw somebody compare that him and Breaker. Breaker has the physical skills, but Dom has everything else where it comes to in-ring psychology, in-ring timing, the charisma, mic skills.
And he has the physical skills. He just isn't.
His body just looks different. Like it's not muscular. Like people, he's a big dude. Like he's like 6'2", 6'3".
Right. I mean, look at his dad at the beginning of his career. He wasn't muscular. He didn't get muscular until he got to WWE, and then he just changed his look. Like he got himself in great shape. But I mean, the beginning of Ray's career, and he got himself over because he was the smallest guy. He didn't look like an athlete. He didn't look like he took beatings, but he got himself over, and look at him now. He's a Hall of Famer and multi-time world champion. Just goes to show you that family's just got it.
Yeah, I think that was the comment though by Prism in that nepotism is valid sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, tremendous. And this was a great show, by the way, guys. I appreciate everybody jumping in, chiming in. Little programming announcement. If I can figure out where the hell to take this. You guys panic.
Yay.
Woo!
All right. So we mentioned it earlier a couple of weeks ago. Put my head here. We did mention this a couple of weeks ago. I did confirm with him today. We are bringing back our Eagles conversations with the Blue Meanie. It's going to be a part of Lazy Booking. So, as of now, this is a pre-recorded show, just to give you guys a heads up. And it'll drop on September 2nd at 6 p.m. I am working, and please follow A2D and Lazy Booking's social media pages. I will provide updates. I am working to see if I can make this a live show on the Monday morning, if I can get Tom to join the show and or at least approve it. But as of now, at the very least, this show is going to be dropping Philadelphia Eagles 2025 season preview show with the Blue Meanie. Your defending Philadelphia Eagles, who everybody here knows, he's been on our shows a million times, is a massive, massive Philadelphia Eagles fan. We love to talk birds with him, and I'm excited to make this a monthly part of it where he'll be a guest on Lazy Booking, and we're going to focus those episodes on Eagles talk. And we'll throw in a little wrestling at the end of it if there's anything topical. But yeah, so that'll be fun during Eagles season to do that with the Blue Meanie. And if you haven't seen him do it before, if you haven't been a part of our shows with that before, you're going to see a whole different side of him that you're really going to love and enjoy. Knowledgeable guy, smart guy, and always a fun guy. If you saw the opening clip where we're talking about Nick Wright and he throws the bag of dicks up at the camera, that was an Eagles show. So it's fun. It's a good time. But yeah, for everybody, lots of comments today. Lots and lots of comments today.
Yeah, thanks for the comments, everybody. That makes it that much better, more fun.
Yep. It sure does. I appreciate you guys jumping in and joining us. And obviously to our sponsor, Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal. Appreciate that him as well. And these guys for hopping in and doing this show with me. So next week, I'm away. So there will not be a show. I'll be literally in the car driving to North Carolina. So no Lazy Booking next week. You'll still have Hockey Happy Hour, and you're going to have them tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on A2D Radio. I'm sorry, I keep saying Hockey Happy Hour. I can't get that out of my mind, Pete. I did it for so many years.
It was catchy, bro.
It was Legacy Hockey Happy Hour. It is Flyers Talk A2D. Yes. So make sure you guys join them. Flyers Talk A2D. They'll talk hockey with you. But for myself, for Eric, for Pete, and everybody here at A2D Radio, as Andy always says, go out there, find someone, tell someone you love them, and you guys have a great 2 weeks. We'll recap Clash in Paris after that. Peace.